People, DG, I'm back again. Now, we know contracts is a funny old business at our club, but I love my club in it. So you see a lot of diverse videos that I make, and especially I think I kind of humour myself with the long-term strategy. I talk about the need for feeder clubs, the need for scouting certain roles, etc, etc. Apologies, people, my wire just dropped if you heard that and was wondering. Now, we know in 2019, we've got a lot of deals running out. Ramsey's deal, Welbs' deal, many other examples. 2020, I think it's just Koscielny. It could be Jenkinson as well. I do see conflicting reports. I do think Jenkinson's contracted until 2020, but there's equal reports that say 2019. I'm going to go with the latter, the former in 2020. But something, something Raul Sanllehi said when he signed for the club, and I was reading it online. He said, I can't remember it word for word, but it was basically, in the last 2 years of a player's contract, you kind of need to know what you're doing with the player. And that's kind of stuck with me. Yes, again, immediately you're looking at the futures of probably Aaron Ramsey, the star man, and stuff like that. But if you look at 2021, that would be what? We're in 2 years of a lot of players' contracts. So you'd think we need to start looking at what our plans are, or at least surely Raul Sanllehi, by this logic, is at least in dialogue privately with Unai Emery and how they shape up. You look at the first one, Aubameyang, his contract, this is all courtesy of Transfermarkt. I know you lot know about the website, so if their stats and statistics are wrong, forgive me, it's not me, don't shoot the messenger, I'm just speculating. But you look at Aubameyang, 29, contracted until 2021. It will be 31/32. Maybe that's his last big contract. Maybe he's declined to the point where we're not going to look at him. Now, if you look at Sergio, I swear Sergio's 30 or something. So maybe it was or 31. So I don't think it will be that deep. But he does rely on pace. If he loses his pace, I'm not too sure. So you like to think, what are we going to do with him? Because he's probably got one last chance to earn a big contract. Would he want to stay at Arsenal? Would we want to move him on? How does the outlook of the club look? Do we have young players coming through? Do we want to sign a marquee player? How do we want to shape up? Do we deem, I don't know, Lacazette's contracted until 2022. Do we move with him more? So do you see it, people? Already, within now, privately, they have to be thinking about Aubameyang's plans, or it's surely going to hand Aubameyang a new deal. Maybe they could be looking at is that Aubameyang, they signed him last year, they're going to get 3-4 seasons out of him, let him go on a free transfer. He's a striker with a lot of pedigree. You're looking at him as 20 material to get 20 league goals minimum, and he's obviously got a prolific record. If he can continue doing that and help us deliver to get where we need to get or go down in fan law, then that could be money well spent, and they might deem not to renew his, but they have to think about it. Mesut Ozil, we know they want to move him on, but he'll be around 32 at the time, which undoubtedly probably won't be at the club. You look at David Silva, if he was to take a leaf out of his book, he might be still playing to a decent standard, but they need to know the plans, and clearly they've deemed that Mesut Ozil is being moved on, at least what it looks like. The big one is probably Mustafi. Now, Mustafi, if you're looking at saving wages or stuff like that, or trying to recoup a fee, you're seeing out of the defenders, Mustafi the most likely to do that. Mustafi would be 28 by the time 2021 comes. So within the next year or so, 18 months, we need to, whether I believe in it or not, give him a new deal or move him on, because you're looking at it, he should be someone you get money for. But we all know Mustafi's been a bit peculiar since he signed for the club, and he is on decent wages. So something will need to be done within the next short-term future with him. Now, Reiss Nelson is contracted until 2021, I believe, or it could be 2023. I don't believe it's till 2023. But again, he's someone you got to be looking at. Sokratis falls under this. Will be 32. Now, I think Sokratis is someone they'll probably just let him be in the squad and things like that. Or he might still be playing to a decent standard. But again, you've got to start thinking about these things. I think Guendouzi's contracted until 2022, but if you look at him, he's got a long way to go. But if he carries on, you've got to probably be looking at extending his deal, because in 2022, he'll be 21, 22 or something like that. Still got the world of his career in front of him and a lot of time, to which if he deems that he's spent a long time at Arsenal and he wants to move, we need to be in a position where we can get a decent fee from him, or this current model of players leaving for free or cut prices is going to continue. And if you're looking at probably some of our talents, Torreira's contracted until 2023. He's probably in line within the next 18 months to get a new deal. But you're looking at Torreira, Guendouzi. These are the assets you kind of want to tie down to key deals. Like you see in Liverpool, I'm jealous of Liverpool. I'm not jealous of Trent Arnold, but he's contracted until 2024, and they seem to always be renewing their players. You look at Robertson. These are the sort of stuff they're tying down their players' market values and things like that. Well, no, Nelson's 2023. Forgive me, people. I've got it written down on a separate note. But the point I'm making is that I'm just stuck on on Sanllehi's foot. So the club has to know what they're trying to shape up with a lot of these players. And the crazy thing is that you look at Unai Emery, what he's on a 2-year deal with the extension of a third. 2021's 2 years from now. Of course, it doesn't work out like that because it's seasons, but he's got 2 years. Aubameyang's got 2 years or so left on his deal. Ozil the same, and a couple of Socrates. Whether you rate these players or not, these are kind of the makeup of his squad. The key Mustafi as well. The key players, the players that feature more often than not. So he's got to decide between now and the end of the season which ones he's cutting loose or which ones he's riding with. So yeah, on top of the mess in terms of immediate contracts, in terms of needing to move people on, in terms of players that are under contracts for a good period, being on high wages, the backroom stuff, you've got to consider this. Like, there's a lot to consider. Like, there's actually a lot of work. Just when you feel that you know how much of the work or the severity of what we need to do, it goes beneath, man, because we need to be a bit more forward thinking. For me, the key one is to protect, is to tie down assets, to be fair with you. We've done well with Torreira and Reece Nelson, but I see Guendouzi and players like that, and you're thinking, cool, we need to tie them down. And obviously, I like Xhaka, but Xhaka's tied down until 2022. If you wanted to move him on because of indifferent form, it's going to be an issue. El Nene was given a new deal as well, so it is going to be difficult in that regards, not to name drop two players, just to make a point. But that's all I wanted to say, people, man. I got nothing more to say on that front, so I'm going to get out of your hair. People, deluded, comment, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. I'm out.